You're listening to the Things Podcast, brought to you by the Things Industries.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alix Paultre, and today at the Things Conference, I've got Sander van der Velde. He's with the SDG Group, and I just want to say hi, Sander. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Alex. Thank you for having me.
Well, there's so much going on at this event. There are companies that are providing everything from the wireless side to the logic side to the infrastructure side. What does the SDG Group do?
Well, the SDG Group is a company who gives advice and consultancy in data and AI. So that's what we're doing. So on top of all the technology and the infrastructure, there's the part where we add value with real-time insights.
Very cool. Now, so it's SD Group, so it's not SDG Group, it's SD.
No, it's SDG Group.
Oh, it is SDG Group. Yeah, excellent. Okay, I wanted to make sure we're cool, so that way when our audience wants to look you up and find out all about you, they'll be able to search properly. So, you provide the value on top of all of the hardware, functionality and all. So let me give a scenario. I approach you and I've got a smart toothbrush, right? It's going to tell me how often I brush my teeth, where I miss, talk to my laptop and all of that other. Where would you insert your value add in that system?
Well, the value that we try to find with customers together is what if you get data from that device? What are you going to do with it? It's not just, well, hey, I have a device, let's connect it, because that means you're investing in infrastructure, you're investing on radio. That will be a dissatisfier. But if you actually have a use case, for example, you want to see how those toothbrushes are actually used by the customers, or you want to do some anomaly detection or predictive maintenance, or we see there's a degradation in the devices. They're broken down after 8 months, where they are sold for every 1 year or every 5 years to be replaced. That's something that a customer would like to know.
And that you would help them with?
Yes, of course.
So I know I gave you an odd example. Are there some application spaces that you are currently working in that you're doing some things with?
Oh, it's a very broad list of customers that we have. We are doing offshore solutions for getting data from devices which are lifting parts of windmills at sea. We are tracking and combining in a food production, in meat production, with weight scales, how much meat is produced during the day. And that is compared with the context of, well, there's a customer demand for that day for meat, in this case, to be produced, and the amount of meat that is available to be processed. And there's a use case with a customer that I'm working on regarding collecting CO2 from the environment and collecting that during a production process, so it can be reused later on in a later state, and that means that there's less CO2 being carbon dioxide, I believe it's pronounced. The carbon footprint is lower for that customer.
Wow, that's interesting. So, is there any aspect of the company that we haven't brought up yet that you think the audience should know about?
Oh, the interesting part is that we are really well specialized in real-time data. The interesting part is many customers, many companies work with data, but more in a daily batch or a hourly batch process, while real-time data is so much more important, and it's a source of data that most of the companies that we see are not harvesting yet. So think about, we're doing IoT, so that means basically tracking devices. But how about tracking people, customers in shops or tracking logs of stuff that is done on a website or on a system. Security audits, those are all events, those are all real-time observations, immutable facts, and that's where real-time data, real-time intelligence, real-time insights come in place. And if you combine that with the context data, which is slowly moving, you're sitting on gold.
Well, and that's the key, isn't it? Because there's so much data, some companies are actually intimidated by the amount of data they get, which is why they go with daily or even sometimes longer batching. And sometimes they collect the data, and unless something is on fire, they don't even bother to look at it half the time.
Yeah, that's a common a challenge that we see, that it's so easy nowadays to say, well, let's just collect everything, and nobody's looking at it, and it's only costing money because collecting data, there's a price for that, and then they are complaining that it's so expensive. So that's the sweet spot, the challenge that we have to pick the right amount of data to get insights right away, but also take the stuff that could be valuable later on and skip the rest. More, we just collect everything, and if it's not needed for, say, within a month, drop it. So there are several approaches that we can do to keep the costs low and the value high.
Well, yeah, exactly. Determining what data is important should be one of their first concerns coming out of the gate, Because, as we were saying, sometimes too much data is collected that actually gets in the way of finding out information.
Yeah. So the trick, or the track that we take for a customer is first think about the value. What is the value proposition? What do you want to do with the data? Once you know the value, that means you also know the requirements. From there, we can go further into an implementation.
Got it. So, is there anything about the company or anything about what you're got coming up that you would like to make sure that the audience knows about?
Next that I'm a principal architect for IoT within the SDG Group, I'm also a Microsoft MVP on the IoT track. And nowadays I'm doing a lot with Microsoft Fabric, which is a new data platform from Microsoft. And there's a really large portion of that related to real-time intelligence. And we are now working together with Microsoft on digital twins. There's a digital twins already that they offer, but they're offering a second digital twins environment, and that is so much promising. So if the listeners are interested in doing something with digital twins, check out Microsoft Fabric. We love it. It's such a easy, low-code, no-code experience for our customers. We can help them so much with a value proposition. This is really a game changer, I think.
Very cool. So, do you have any final words for our audience before I let you go?
We already said about it, talked about it. Think about the value that you want to do with IoT. What can you do? What are the requirements from that portion? And let's have fun.
Let's have fun. Thank you so much, Sander. I really appreciate you taking the time to come sit with us.
You're welcome.